Hello, everybody. Hope you're all safe and healthy and well. I want to start off this evening's session by acknowledging some heartwarming, brave, and inspiring actions of our frontline workers and communities during, the past month of lockdown. At the same time, we've also witnessed organizations whose policies towards their employees, contractors have reflected empathy, integrity, and kindness during what is an unprecedented time in humanity. It makes me wonder, are these then the kind of actions that will influence our purchasing decisions in the post-COVID world as consumers? So I have some food for thought statistics for you to start off this session with. 69% of business leaders view a balance between social purpose and profit as important. 70% of consumers expect companies to be socially accountable, and 60% of employees want the companies they work for to have a focus on broader social issues, with 56% ultimately more likely to buy from businesses who do. And the last very interesting statistic is that trust in businesses is at 52% and remains much higher than global trust in government, which is at 43%. Exactly. In the next 9 minutes, I'll be walking you through an introduction to social impact, why it has top business agendas, and I'll also be sharing with you some powerful examples of organizations who are leading by example. And we will end with some key takeaways that you can adopt for your businesses. So welcome to Do Well by Doing Good, balancing profits versus purpose. Now, there are many types of impact that a business can make: environmental, tax, economic, and social. So social impact is a way that companies' profits, is a way to improve your company's profits and make the world a better place. Companies can measure and value the consequences of their business activities on areas such as health, education, poverty, and community cohesion, for example. Now, historically, businesses have defined success by profitability and shareholder value. Now, while that hasn't changed completely, the last 10 to 15 years have seen the rise of corporate social responsibility, a term many of you will have heard, of course. CSR is a business model tool that helps a company be socially accountable to itself, its stakeholders, and the public. And many businesses will already have a CSR policy, employees raising donations through running marathons, cake bake sales, sponsoring Christmas cards, and so on and so forth. A tick in the box for some, for others an enjoyable annual activity. But these are often one-off activities and not necessarily aligned with the company's profitability and growth objectives, and certainly not ingrained in the very fabric of a company's DNA. Having said that, some businesses are moving forward beyond paying lip service and are genuinely embracing and implementing social impact strategies so their businesses can be profitable and be a force for good. So let's look at some of these companies. Visa brings digital cash to residents in many developing countries where the financial infrastructure doesn't exist or where people don't have access to financial system. So their financial inclusion program has helped people come out of poverty, has created productive, empowered citizens, and has fueled economic growth. So they are ethically and intentionally creating a better society. Unilever actually no longer has a separate CSR department. Its business model has sustainability at its core. And in 2010, they launched a sustainable living development plan to reduce the impact of their operations on the environment and promote gender parity. For them, their incentive is so clear. Businesses cannot thrive in a world in which people don't. Their net income in 2017 was just under $7 billion. Coca-Cola started 5 by 20 initiative to empower women across the globe to overcome social and economic barriers by providing skills training, access to financial services, and assets. Now, of course, you may be thinking these are huge corporations with vast coffins and clout, but there are other companies and entrepreneurs that are also embracing social impact strategy. Now, after a trip to Argentina in 2006, Blake Mycoskie, who's the founder of Tom's Shoes, put $300,000 of his own money into his business. He pledged to donate one pair of shoes for every pair sold. And as of 2019, they've provided 95 million, excuse me one second, they have provided 95 million pairs of shoes as part of their 1-for-1 campaign to support water, sight, birth, and anti-bullying initiatives. And they continue to be profitable year on year because they remain popular and ethical with their customers. Network Rail, as of last year, are measuring a range of activities that they've never done so before. Employees' volunteering time, STEM engagement, social regeneration, and community rail initiatives. So what are the benefits for companies to implement social impact strategy? Competitive differentiation, because you're demonstrating that you are protecting and creating social capital, maybe through ethical supply chains which protect workers' rights, perhaps by enhancing local communities with educational opportunities. You can also deliver increased growth, much like Tom's Shoes or Unilever, because you've made social impact sit at the heart of what you do and what you stand for. You have better engagement with stakeholders such as investors, governments, regulators, because you have social impact measurements in place, which means you're in a far better position to increase the positive impact of your activities whilst reducing any negative impact. You have enhanced trust in the eyes of the public. You're more attractive to prospective employees because of the social footprint of your company. And employees drive results when they're engaged and fulfilled. And this happens when they have the opportunity to perform impactful work. So we've spoken about what social impact is historically, what's happening today, how corporations are embedding this into their business models, and what the potential benefits look like. But let's look at some social impact takeaways for small business owners and entrepreneurs who are thinking of how they can make positive social impact on a daily basis. Well, you could go green. You could evaluate how your company uses energy, how it recycles stationery, plastic. Simple changes can make your business more environmentally friendly, reduce costs, but also foster a positive image to staff, customers, and your partners that make your business accountable for its actions. Now, in today's COVID world, all businesses are readdressing costs, growth, and are very aware of reduced consumer purchasing power, which will go well into 2021. But I feel this is also an incredible opportunity to exact business and social change, a perfect time to reevaluate your company's mission and build social good into the foundation of your business. Now, what does a business that deals in financial payment transactions have anything to do with planting trees? Well, you'd be right if you said nothing. But here's the thing, startup Gcash Forest in Singapore allows their subscribers to plant virtual trees, which then have real life counterparts. So Gcash will have implemented or planted around 365,000 trees by the end of this year, a tree a day. And they're implementing these tree planting initiatives with the Department of Environment, World Wildlife Fund, Biodiversity Finance initiatives. So let's think laterally, let's think connections, let's think collaboration. Now, Levi's is also a great example of how even the oldest companies can adapt and innovate for social good. In reducing the amount of water they've used in production of their jeans, which, by the way, they've been producing since 1873, they have saved more than 1 billion liters of water since their inception in 2011. So how about businesses, how about we review our processes, our systems, our sales, other functions, and whilst you look at cost reductions and improved customer service and economies of scale, also look for social impact interventions. How and where can you be more socially innovative? Because it's never too late to make a difference. Even the slightest effort towards social change can have a positive impact on the world and encourage other businesses to do the same. And the other thing I'd say is bring your company values into difficult conversations and ask what choices your business faces. Companies face tough decisions all the time, prioritizing values over profit, Ben & Jerry's decided to make a socially responsible decision, which was directly tied to the business of making ice cream, when in 1989 they opposed the bovine growth hormone used in cows, partly because of its adverse economic effect on family farming. That decision defined their values. And today, Ben & Jerry's Foundation actively encourages employees to give back to their communities and offers grants for social justice programs. So ask yourself, if COVID-19 wasn't a reality today, what would be the toughest decision you'd be facing? But okay, we are in the COVID world. So what lessons are we learning as business leaders about empathy, staff loyalty, humanity, that as a business we can integrate into our strategies that define and represent us in the post-COVID world? My last point is about social CSR can grow with your business. A company's contribution to a cause can start, as small as £1 for every online course that is sold, to supporting perhaps those with reduced vision. Or as a startup where funding is tight, you can provide X number of hours of free web development service to your local hospice, or an advisory firm sponsoring kindness workshops in schools. Microsoft began its giving program in 1983 when they raised $17,000 for charity. Today, their giving program is on track to dollars by 2020. And that's not accounting for their employees having spent 5 million hours in volunteering in the last 13 years. So they started small, but their commitment and social responsibility has had an exponential impact. So in conclusion, I would say lip service and being purely profit-driven are relics of the past. This has been replaced by a social impact strategy that sits within the heart of your business model, within the day-to-day workings of your business, culture, and DNA, all of which drives revenue, growth, and community engagement in a way that mutually can benefit both the company employees and society at large. So companies who do well are the companies who place profit and purpose alongside each other. They do well by doing good. Thank you for listening.